from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm George Campbell, joined this hour by best-selling author of the book From Paycheck to Purpose, Mr. Ken Coleman. And we are taking your calls this hour at 888-825-5225. And this is the show all about breakthrough, all about hope. And so if you need that in any area of your life, especially money and career, we are your guys today.
Yeah, so when we say career, that's a big, broad statement. So let's break it down into work-related questions. Maybe you got a toxic boss or leader, and you're feeling miserable, burned out, but you're in the baby steps. You feel like, I have no choices. I can't move on. Yes, you can. We'll help you through some of those type of work-related questions. Hey, Ken, I want to get a promotion. I want to make more money. Is it possible? I'm in an okay job, but I'm not sure what I'd love to do. So those are some contexts that are real that we handle on the Ken Coleman Show, and we'll take on those today. And they all have money components.
Oh, yeah.
And George and I love being together. We are listener labeled us as the root beer float.
I just got a message about that.
The Ramsey Show.
It makes one listener giggle every time they hear it. They love it.
So there you go. So we're here to please just an audience of one today.
That's right.
And we've done that. So now we're ready, I think, for phone calls, George.
Well, you jump in. We'll talk about your life, your money, your work. 888-825-5225. Christine kicks us off in Dallas, Texas. Christine, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, what's going on?
So I'm on baby step number 2, and my question is, my largest debt has a judgment against me, and they recently sent me another letter saying that they're looking for post-judgment discovery requests. And I have 30 days to produce, about 6 days away from that. And I guess my biggest question is, while I have other smaller debts that I was trying to tackle, what is your advice for navigating the settlement when the debt is so high?
What's the details of this? How big is the debt, and how much money do you have, and what's been the latest communication?
Okay, so I owe $22,000 roughly, and when I called them, they told me they would take $18,000. They asked me how much money I had saved, and I do have $5,000, and they told me I could put that down and then be on a payment plan for 12 months to pay off the rest to get it to 18.
Okay, and so that would add up to 18 over the following, after you give them the 1,000?
Yes, after I give them the 5,000.
Oh, you have 5.
Then yes, I have 5,000. Not including my emergency $1,000.
Okay.
So that means that you now owe them 13, or that was the remaining amount that had to be paid off in 12 months?
Yes.
Okay. And you're 6 days away. How much have you paid?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 6 days away from just having to turn in all of the discovery requests where they ask, for all your bank statements and all the different things.
They want to make sure you're not sitting on $50,000. And
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your question is, how do you navigate this while in baby step 2? You have other debts to deal with?
I have another one that I was just speaking with as well. That one is $9,600. They told me they would take $2,800, which is roughly about 30% of what I owe.
Okay.
So now I'm kind of stuck because they don't have a judgment against me, but it is in collection. So I was just trying to tackle all my small ones, but then the biggest one comes at me with the judgment. So
yeah, I would tackle all of the debts that are in collections, all of the ones you're behind on. Tackle those first, because those are going to be the ankle biters holding you back. And if you can make minimum payments on the rest of your debts that you're current on, are you able to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So are these the only 2 that are in collections, or are there more?
Right. These are the only 2 that are in collections. I'm fine everywhere else. I have 1 car payment. That's about it.
Okay. So you're on the payment plan for the largest debt. You're going to settle with the next one.
I'm not on a payment plan yet. That's, I guess, what I was going to ask you, because they want to put me on one, but everything I've read says to try to do the lump sum, but I know I can't pay $18,000 off.
Have you talked to them about doing a lump sum later on?
I did, and they still said 18.
Which is a break from the 25 that you owe them.
Right.
But they're not going to wait 12 months to get the 18, is what you're saying.
Well, I was trying to see where I could get with a lump sum, and they said I'm accruing interest every day of $311 or $3.11 every day since the judgment. They said they would waive that fee. They would waive the those fees and take 20 or take 18.
Okay, and are you needing to give them access to your account for this, or can you write them a cashier's check or money order every month?
They said I could make a payment each month, and if I miss one payment, then it goes all the way back to what I owe.
What's the language of the judgment, George? I'm a little naive on this particular. When you say judgment, does that mean a judge is involved?
No, they sent me something, and they said, that they went to the county where I live, and they did file a lawsuit. I was actually having a baby when the hearing was, but I did respond. I responded, and I said, this is the first I've heard of this, going to court. Can you please give me some more information? Because I wanted to make sure it was legit. And all of a sudden, all I got was a letter from the county that said, here's the date of your hearing. And I wasn't able to physically go. I was in the hospital. And then I got a letter that said that they were granted this judgment on me. And then I didn't hear from them at all until towards the end of September. I got this that said that they're looking for more information so that they can see, how much money I have. And they do say at the end that they would like to resolve this matter amicably, to contact them. And so that's when I did call the law firm.
Nothing sounds amicable like you just got sued in court. Let's do this amicably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the county has the judgment against you, we now have to deal with that situation. So I would put that on the top of your list of things to deal with, followed by the settlement. And let the other collector know, hey, listen, I'm dealing with this right now. As soon as I'm done, my next goal is to settle with you for that 30% amount. Here's when I'm going to be able to do that. And so as long as you're in very clear, constant communication, we're going to get rid of the collections monkeys off your back, and then we're going to focus on the rest of your debts. How many other debts do you have? What's the total amount?
I have just not much. I have one credit card that I keep open and I pay off every month.
Let's cut that up today. Can we please cut that up today, Christine?
Yeah.
It's a rubber crutch. And it's part of the reason we're in this hole is because we thought, well, the credit card companies, they're going to be my savior. They're going to be my emergency fund.
Yeah.
And as we're realizing, debt is not a friend. It's not a tool. And so I think as a moment where you go, I'm going to draw a line in the sand, never again, I've had it, we're going to cut up this card today. And it's not going to become, well, I'm going to keep it open and pay it off. I'm not. Let's just cut it up, be done with it, and use your debit card. Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. What's your income?
It's actually just got a new job, and it's $127,000.
Heck yes.
Nice.
Let's go, Christine. So how quickly are we going to clean up this mess? How many months?
Yeah. How many months am I going to take to clean up the mess?
Yeah, to get rid of debt completely.
I would say about a year.
There we go. A year from now, you're going to be looking back on this, Christine, going, that was the moment when collectors were calling me. I'm in the hospital while getting sued. Debt is not my friend. I'm going to become the bank. Never again is someone going to tell me how I'm going to live my life. We are rooting for you, Christine, wishing you the best on this debt-free journey. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. It's your show. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your life, your money, your work, all of it. I'm George Campbell, joined by Ken Coleman this hour. And we just took a heart-wrenching call.
Yep.
Woman who's got a judgment against her for a bunch of credit card debt and still got the card open, trying to pay it off every month. And it got me thinking again. You know, there's a lot of slick marketing out there from the credit card companies and a lot of ads as we watch YouTube videos. And so I saw this one from Credit Karma. And so we wanted to play it for you and get your live reaction, Ken.
Oh, this is very
He's
exciting.
never seen this.
Never seen it before.
Let's roll this Credit Karma ad.
All right, here we go.
What are you doing?
I'm applying for a credit card on Credit Karma. They have this thing called the Karma Guarantee. It's sort of like a card fairy. If you apply for a credit card that has the Karma Guarantee and you don't get approved, the card fairy will slip $50 under your pillow.
Is he coming tonight?
Nope. Just got approved. The card fairy will just have to rummage around in someone else's fridge.
Get approved or get $50 on offers with the Karma Guarantee.
Ah, how heartwarming.
Wow, it's so precious. We have the
cute little girl.
the little angelic voice. What you doing, Dad?
The creepy wizard man.
And so the whole thing is like someone's gonna come save you. You know?
And I love the idea that if you don't get approved for one of these credit card offers, because that would mean you're in such bad financial shape, even credit card companies are going, nope.
Yeah.
Then Credit Karma will give you $50.
Right.
Put it under your pillow.
Yeah, that's the thing that was sickening. And I got to tell you, the other thing that it does, the thing that really bothers me is they're playing to kids. Kids are in the room while mom and dad are watching TV. And what's really insidious about this is, and I mean insidious, is that they're normalizing credit and credit cards to little kids who don't even have the foggiest idea what it really means. That's what's really, and I'm telling you, I can see it right now, that there are marketing agencies that do all this stuff for these companies. They're sitting in there going, okay, we have a couple things we want to accomplish here, right? And don't think for a second that the Credit Karma executive said, hey, try to make it this, and let's they are pounding this into.
Very intentional.
It's very intentional to create normalcy. Remember, folks, marketing is all about removing your objections to anything. Right? It's why, like, we're sitting there watching sports the other night with my boys, watching a football game. Commercials come on, and first thing, it's one of these pharmaceutical companies. Same tactics. Do you have dry mouth, sore neck, and itchy feet? I'm going, well, I got 2 of the 3. What's wrong with me?
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
There's nothing wrong with me. But it's like, it's a normalizing of activity, a normalizing of symptoms, normalizing drugs, normalizing debt. I got to tell you, folks, these people are very talented.
Well, and I'll tell you what's happening.
It's a game, and you are in the matrix. And until you wake up, you're going to be susceptible for this. I got to tell you, shame on that. That is so ridiculous. It drives me nuts.
And here's how this works, Ken, because Credit Karma is partnering with all of these credit card companies, and so they're offering up Discover and American Express and all of these different offerings, and they get kickbacks if you sign up. And so they must be making buku bucks if they're just throwing out $50 bills for anyone that gets denied.
Not to mention the ad development and the ad buy. Now let's just go to where we are real time. All right, George?
Let's go to reality, Ken.
In my hands right here, a CBS News article. Here's where we stand and why Credit Karma is thriving. The average credit card rate in the U.S. is now more than 22%. It's the highest since 2019. This is according to Lending Tree data. For people who carry a balance, the average rate is 18.4%, according to the Federal Reserve. Ouch. And so with inflation, tightening people's everyday activities, instead of reducing expenses, increasing responsibility, more discipline, what do people do? Well, inflation's more than my pay raise, so I got to use a credit card.
You sound just like them, Ken. That was an amazing impression.
Well, now that's actually the inner character. What was that Disney movie that it was like a thing that had all these little emotions and they became like characters? That's what that emotion sounds.
Inside Out. Thank you from producer
James on top of it because he's got the littles at home. He knows. But that's that same sniveling, victim-type personality. I think that's what they sound like.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that inner voice.
The headline of this article is Inflation Slammed Americans Are Piling on Credit Card Debt. It goes on to say searing inflation is driving Americans to make more purchases on their credit cards, leading them to amass more debt that is becoming costlier as the Fed hikes interest rates.
All right, so you know what the number is, George?
Hit me.
$887 billion in credit
You're
card
taking my breath away,
debt.
Ken.
That's up 13% from a year ago.
Wow.
Up
We're heading up to $1 trillion.
13%.
Well, we hear about the student loan crisis, and the number you hear is $1.7 trillion, which means we are halfway there in credit card debt alone.
Nearly 6 in 10 Americans who earn less than $50,000 a year carry a credit card balance from month to month.
But, Ken, everyone I talk to says, well, I pay it off every month, Ken. What's wrong with hanging on to my credit card?
I'll
I pay
tell
it
you,
off.
That's a very good question, George. You have no margin. All right.
Bingo.
So you start looking at, I was looking at some data today. I was reacting to a viral TikTok video on the Ken Coleman Show. And where a TikToker went out there and said, look, if you make $25 an hour or less, you ought to be terrified, as if life is over. Okay. Now, I want people to make more than $25 an hour. In fact, I commit my entire professional life to, you can make way more than that. Here's how. I want you to make more. However, it was so doom and gloom. So I looked into the numbers. He had this spreadsheet basically showing that a person who makes $25 an hour can barely make ends meet in today's America. Well,
What's on the spreadsheet? A bunch of debt?
The car payments. And he had $400 as the average car payment. You and I both know it's actually $667
It's gone up and up. It's over
for new
$700
cars.
now.
It's $519 for used cars. I looked it up today. And I also looked up that the median income right now in America per week is just over $1,000 a week. So what happens is you do have a lot of people who are really squeezed. But they're squeezed not just from income, but they're really squeezed by expenses. Because all of a sudden, if you take out that $500, $600, $700 car payment, and by the way, that's the average. We saw a TikTok recently, I think James showed it to us, where people were like gleefully bragging on these TikToks. I have a car payment of $1,200 a month. You remember
They all
that?
work for car dealerships.
They work for car dealerships. And it's like, it's mind-numbing, George.
Well, and it goes back to this whole thing that we've normalized all of this through marketing. It's
Well,
all
of
around
course.
you. Everyone you know has payments.
That's right.
It's in every commercial.
Well, it starts with this little girl. Hey,
Yes.
Daddy, I'm going to have $1,000 car payment one day. And it's just insanity. It's like the Pied Piper leading people off the cliff. I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, it does start with the
Do you want
parents.
more voices, George?
All of them, Ken.
Okay, great.
You could do a one-man show at this point on Broadway.
All right.
So here's what this turns into. You mentioned it, Ken, but yes, you can make more income, and income can be an issue. But we have villainized every company for not paying us enough. All the while, we're throwing thousands of dollars a month to lenders.
We're not doing a good job
And
with
somehow
what they
they're not
are
the bad
paying
guys.
us. The answer is not pay me more, and I'm all for you making more. The answer is, what are we doing with what we have?
Yes, and the truth is, when you look down, you go, oh, it's all going to lenders who are building really big buildings and sponsoring every stadium in North America today.
Isn't that the truth?
So how about we leave our own legacy and put our own names on some buildings and get out of debt once and for all? These credit card companies are not your friend. Debt is not a tool. And the truth is, credit cards have become the cigarette of the financial world. We all used to think it was cool, and now we know too much. And here we are in $887 billion of credit card debt going, I don't understand how we got here. I thought the credit card companies were my friend. I go on free vacations, Ken.
Yeah.
I get my points.
Yeah.
I'm beating the system. No, because life happens, and you don't have an emergency fund, and you're not hitting your financial goals. And so what do? We turn to the credit cards to be our savior, and then they transform, Ken, before our eyes into a devil instead of the angel.
You know, I got to tell you, for all of the wokeism and all of the people outraged by the bad people of society, it's high time the American people, the average person, whether you're conservative, progressive, liberal, or whatever, wake up and go, the actual bad guys are the credit card companies. It's predatory lending is what it is.
Take that. American Express, if you're listening, you've been outed. Discover, if you're listening, Capital One, what's in your wallet? Money. That's what I want to be in your wallet, not a freaking Capital One card. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look,
I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined by my colleague Ken Coleman this hour. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Felicia joins us up next in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Felicia, welcome to the show.
Hi, George and Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Yeah, I have two really quick questions. The first is we just started Financial Peace University. We just finished lesson 3.
Awesome.
So we're on baby step 1, and we're halfway through that. And I realized that we have an upcoming debt, credit card bill that was same as cash because my dog had emergency surgery a couple months ago, and that due date is coming up soon in about 4 weeks. So we were wondering, should we go ahead and pay that so we don't get the interest, or should we just continue funding our emergency fund and then put that into our snowball?
Well, how much do you have in the bank right now?
Just the $500 for our emergency fund.
Okay. How quickly can you get the other $500?
Probably a week or two.
Okay. And then what is this, the debt, the same as cash credit card debt? How much?
It is $1,200.
Okay, and it's due in 4 weeks. So the question is, can we scrape together that kind of money in 4 weeks? Can you guys do side jobs, side hustles, sell stuff?
I think so.
There's only one answer here, and it's yes. We will do whatever it takes to get out of this. Because what's going to happen, and you know this now, because you read the fine print after the fact, that same as cash is not the same as cash because the interest will be triggered, and it's going to be retroactive to the beginning. Mm-hmm. So have you done the calculation on that?
I have not. No, I actually tried to call them and wasn't able to get through.
That's convenient. They'll happily give you the money instantly, but to get in touch with them, it's a nightmare. So my guess is this is a very, very high interest, even higher than your normal credit card. Probably in the high 20s, maybe even 30s. That will be triggered retroactively. So I would do everything in my power to clean up this debt. What's your other debts that you have?
Well, that goes into my next question. We have quite a bit of home things that we had to do, student loans and 2 cars. And my other question was about the cars. One of the cars we are upside down on, and I've been listening for about a month now to you guys, so I didn't know if we should sell that, but then I don't have the $5,000 to cover the difference.
Yeah, so either you'd have to come up with the difference and then sell it to cover the loan, or the other option is getting a small loan from a credit union to cover the difference and then attacking that smaller one. I don't love the second option, but it's the only time I would say it's okay to go into debt is to clean up a mess like this when you're underwater on the car. Are you underwater on the other car?
No.
Okay, what's that one worth?
I think it's worth about 17, and we owe about 17 on it.
Okay. I might consider selling that car today and do private party and do your research with Carvana, you can try CarWiser, you can try Vroom, and see how much money you can get for that car. Because if you can get 18 for that car and you owe 17, well, now we can clean up this emergency vet debt.
Okay.
And so I would do some drastic things to get out of this mess. What's the total debt you're in?
Oh gosh, it's over $180,000, including my student loans.
And that doesn't touch a mortgage?
No.
Oh man, what's the biggest debt out of the 180?
The biggest debt is student loans.
Okay, and then you said you did some house stuff. Are you saying like you did a HELOC? What'd you do to finance the repairs?
No. Yes, we moved into a house. And it had water in the basement, which became a whole big issue. And we did not know that it had that issue in the basement. So we had to get the whole basement fixed.
Was it not disclosed?
It was, I guess it was. But
I mean, how did an inspector not catch that?
I don't know, because the bathroom tiles actually caved in, and we thought it was just a little water in the bathroom. But we started pulling up the floor.
Well, Felicia, what is your household income? I hope it's really high.
It's not as high as I want to be. My husband and I combined make about $114 net.
Okay, great. Can you put every penny from the next few paychecks towards baby step 1 and 2 and clean up this same as cash loan and start these baby steps?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to jump in.
We have the Every Dollar app. We have... I've done the beta thing to tell me when to put money where. So I am up for any suggestions.
All right, so then I'm going to jump in on that one and make a couple suggestions. So earlier in the call, George asked you, are you willing to work extra hours, take on a second job, whatever? And you were like, I think so. And I'm going to
I have a second job.
Good. But your husband needs to get a second job. And then you need to sell stuff.
He works overtime.
Then he needs
It's
still
the
he needs
selling
a second.
stuff I think we need to do.
All right. My point is, I want you to take off the limitations and stop thinking, well, I'm doing this. And I want to go, how much more can I do? It's for a short season. I understand what I'm suggesting is not in any way fun. But I would tell you that what I'm suggesting is doable. And I'm telling you to put the fire out. We do everything possible. When the house is on fire, we don't go, well, I'm already 30 minutes into my Netflix show. No, it's like, put the fire out. It's like, let's go. And I think that you need that urgency. I understand you're tired. I understand you guys are already doing a lot. But we got ourselves into this. We can get ourselves out. But it is going to take extreme measures. Okay? We're talking urgency. And I don't sense that in you, and I'm not beating up on you. I'm just trying to challenge you to say, you can do more. Sell everything.
Yes.
Get a fourth job for a season. I don't care. I mean, let me just so people don't think I'm doing rah-rah stuff, okay? If I'm the husband, and I'm going to speak to a dude here. If I'm your husband, I'm going, all right, how many nights a week could I do an overnight shift at Walmart making $22 an hour? Just for a short term. Or, how many nights could I do that? You stack that up times 10 nights, 15 nights in a month. Are you going to be exhausted? Yeah. But you could get out of this situation pretty quick.
Absolutely.
Am I right, George?
Yeah. Are you guys doing any investing right now?
No, we stopped investing.
Good. Are you eating out right now?
No.
Do you get tax refunds every year?
We do.
Okay, I would look at changing my tax withholdings, and I would get in touch with a tax pro, because that means the government's hanging on to your money, and right now you need that money. And so I want you to have a $0 tax bill and make sure that you're maximizing every dollar you have coming in. Beyond that, keep doing that budget. When you see any bank transaction comes in that you go, we don't need to be paying for that. Let's cut that subscription. No, that's too much. Let's not do that. Find any way you can, get really creative, work as hard as you can. You guys have the income to do this. It's just a decision of, are we going to go all in or not?
Yes.
And me and Ken are more fired up than you are at this point, I think. I'm ready to tackle some debt.
I'm fired up. It's just my husband. He's like, oh, but aren't you exhausted? Aren't you this? So I'm actually more fired up than he is.
Well, play this back to him.
I just got him on board.
Well, you know what? I just spoke to him a few seconds ago. Rewind it for him. Get on the YouTube
Rewind
playback.
the tape.
And I'm speaking to him right now. Come on, dude. Man up right now.
I will.
And he watched FPU as well?
play this
He went
for
through
him.
lessons 1, 2, and 3?
He did.
Okay, let's check. Make sure he has a pulse on him because I'm worried about this guy. Does he understand the fire that you guys are in right now? The mess that you're in, the interest rates that are about to kick in?
Honestly, I want to say no. I think I understand it more because I do all of the budgeting. I do.
Oh my goodness,
we have one
Felicia,
bank
you've
account,
watched FPU.
and I do all of that.
That's not how this works. This is a team effort. He needs to have input. He needs to have buy-in. You're not going to do anything for him. That's why he's so comfortable, because you're taking on the stress and weight of all this
He
debt.
doesn't even know how broke he is.
Show him on paper. Show him. Tell him, I'm stressed. We are not okay. I am angry. I'm frustrated. I'm anxious. I can't live like this anymore. I need you to care as much as I do. Oh, man. Ken, I'm fired up. We need more men to step up in this country and be the husbands that we need in America today. This is bad news bears.
Yeah, I agree.
This is The Ramsey Show. Every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream on the show, it's because at some point they said, I've had it. I'm not living like this anymore. And when you get mad like that and do what they did, your life will change too. And right now, inflation and your stupid credit cards are killing you. You've been led to believe that you are not in control of your money. But that's wrong. You have to decide what you can control. And that's you, your behavior, your money. You have the power to change your future. And Financial Peace University will show you how. This is the course that will teach you the proven step-by-step plan that's helped nearly 10 million people beat debt, master budgeting, and build wealth. And you can do this. Guys, stop letting debt and money stress control your life. All you need to do is start with 3 magic words. I've had it! And take back your control. You can start Financial Peace University right now at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. That's RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. I'm George Camel, joined by Ken Coleman this hour. Diane joins us up next in Hartford, Connecticut. Diane, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Happy to take it.
So I'm in baby steps 5 and 6. And I have a question regarding my flexible spending account through work.
Okay.
I have a $1,500 deductible, which I have used up for the year. And I do have the 10% saved for the rest of my bills for this year. I'm wondering if I should still keep contributing a little bit out of my paycheck each week, or if I have the $1,500 in a lump sum, which I'll have in a week, should I set that aside and use that?
Now, is this, you said a flexible spending account. Are you saying that versus an HSA? Are you sure it's an FSA?
It's an HSA.
Okay. They're different, so I want to make sure I get my ducks in a row here. Flexible spending accounts, that money would run out at the end of the year, whereas an HSA, that money would roll over year to year.
Oh, yeah, it'll roll. Sorry.
Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure. So right now you have no money in there?
I have like $20 right now.
Okay. And you're thinking, hey, I'm going to need this money, and I want to throw this $1,500 into the HSA.
Correct. And then stop taking out of my paycheck each week.
Oh, okay. So you're just splitting the difference and say, do I do the lump sum now, or do I let it roll in with each future paycheck? I mean, where you're at in baby steps, 5 and 6, it's fine if you want to throw that lump sum in there. Me and my wife, we get an employer match in our HSA, and so at the beginning of the year, we just throw a pile of money into there, we get the match, and we go, great. That kickstarted our year off. And so I see this as the same type of thing where we're throwing that in to cover the deductible, which will protect you later on if there is some kind of health emergency or you have big bills, you'll be able to cover that.
Okay. And I have a follow-up question on step 5. So I need to save $10,000 total for both of my girls to go to college because I get a discount. And I have 3 more years until they'll use that money. So I've been aiming to save $3,000 a year, which I have a little over $3,000 for 22. Should I continue to get that $10,000 saved and then throw it all at the house, or should I stick to the $3,000 a year and put my extra stuff towards the house payment?
So you're saying, should I put all my focus in 5 currently?
Yes.
Are you putting this in a savings account? Where's this money going?
It's going in a savings account because talking to my Edward Jones advisor, a 529 at this point, she didn't think was the best plan.
Sure, because of the short time horizon. They're going to need this money pretty fast. Yeah, I would put it is it in a high yield savings account at least?
Probably not, no.
I would move it to an online high yield savings account because right now the interest rates keep bumping up, and so you can get 2.5% in there instead of about 0 in a normal bank savings account. So it'll help that money grow at least over 3 years as you continue to throw some in there. But I would continue if you've got kind of looking at it like a sinking fund in a budget where you say, all right, I'm putting this much every month into the college account. I'm not gonna lose money because it's going to continue to grow safely in that savings account. And after 3 years, I know I'm going to have $10,000. And are you sure it's going to be $10,000 for college 3 years from now?
At today's prices, it will be $10,000. It goes up about 3% a year, so I will adjust it accordingly each year.
Okay. And hopefully 3 years from now, you make more money. You're in a better place financially than even you were today, and you're able to cash flow anything remaining.
Correct. That's the goal.
So I would do that. I wouldn't focus all your energy into that $10K for college right now. Just keep at it. You've got this thing down. You've got the plan, and I like it. You're doing great.
Pretty sure I do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Way to go. Imagine, this is like 1950s pricing, Ken. $10,000 for college.
I know. There are a lot of people going, I'd like the name of that college, please.
Well, it sounds like she's employed
No, they have
there.
a discount.
So
Yeah.
That's a great benefit, by the way.
Yeah. By the way, that ought to be what it costs.
Yes.
You want to get me fired up, and then we don't have time for that in this segment. But, man, the skyrocketing cost of tuition.
Well, it is.
There's a lady out in the lobby that wants me to go after it.
She's not.
Maybe we'll work the rant in later. I'll talk to James. It'll fire you up if you look at the soaring cost of tuition and what it has done to our students and our parents and family. It's an absolute racket.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just it's a great segue, Ken. We just aired Borrowed Future on demand for free on YouTube for the very first time. And so if you want to get riled up like Ken is right now, you can go check that out. It's a 90-minute documentary, and it's been available to rent on our website and many platforms, but right now it's totally free for the future. So go watch it with your kids this weekend, so spark that conversation, and they're all going to go, I don't want to go $200,000 into debt. No, thank you.
I got to throw this in here very quick for people who haven't heard me say it before, but for you parents that are in this situation, kids going to be coming into that age soon about college, there's a 2-part question that you've got to employ. Is a degree the only way for your kid to do what they want to do? The second question is the degree the best way? If the answer is not yes to either one of those things, slow your roll. Swallow your pride, get over the fact that maybe your kid is going to go a different path, and it's going to be okay. College degree has become so much about status and an extended summer camp, and I'm willing to say it. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but I don't care because it's the truth. Now, if it's the only way and if it's the best way, we've got the resources here to help you do it. But boy, oh boy, I mean, this is a marketing message that has just sucked us in. It's just like I was ranting about this earlier about pharmaceuticals and credit cards. It's a marketing message, to where parents, I mean, we've looked down our nose at the trades in our society. We elevate white collar work and we poo-poo blue collar work as if it's a less than life. And I know so many blue-collar men and women that are wealthy and multimillionaires. Not only that, they're employing people, creating jobs, the heartbeat of our economy. And yet we've accepted this, me included. Now, I've long since spit it out of my mouth. But we've allowed ourselves to walk into this message that, well, kid needs to go to college or else they're going to be a loser. And you know how many losers are rocking college campuses right now?
Well, look at them. They graduate.
They're on the path to losing.
They graduate with a degree, and then they can't get a job, and they're angry.
They call my show. At 38. Well, I fell into it. Well, how was college? Man, it was great, man. I partied my face off. you know.
Why don't you just go to Europe at that point for a year and have a great time? Because most parents they grow up there, Ken. It's a social experience.
You know what? That's a great point. If the parenting message is, well, I think it's a time to come of age. Well, here's an idea. Take a gap year that they got to pay for themselves. And let them go drink their face off in Europe. If that's what you're all about, parents.
Go eat, pray, love, and eat some linguine in Italy and call it a day. It's way cheaper than college, sadly.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah, live in a hostel. Yeah, that's great.
Golly. But it's true. I mean, a lot of these folks with degrees, they're going, Ken, I'm making $15 an hour. How do I make more? While the guy who went to trade school, who's a plumber, an electrician, they're making $50, $60, $70, $80 an hour.
Yeah.
With no 4-year degree. So you tell me who's winning. And guess who's more useful? The plumber and the electrician, because I need those guys to come because I'm not touching a wire,
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I live in Tennessee. If my air conditioning unit goes out in the middle of July, the dude that shows up at my house is more important to my wife than I'll ever be.
That's a hero right there.
Come on.
That's a good word. Good hour, Ken. My thanks to all the folks in the booth, Austin, James, Ben, Andrew, Zach, you name it. And, of course, you, America. We appreciate you listening in. We'll be back real soon with more of The Ramsey Show. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm George Camel, host of the Fine Print Entree Leadership Podcast and co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour, joined by Ken Coleman, host of The Ken Coleman Show. All of those shows I mentioned, as well as The Ramsey Show, you can find on the Ramsey Network, on the Ramsey Network app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life, your money, and with my friend Ken here, we can dive into all of your work-related issues. And Ken, it's amazing. If you had a Venn diagram of money and work, there is so much overlap there. A lot of tensions, a lot of crossroads people are at going, should I switch jobs? How do I increase my income? I've got a toxic situation. How do I deal with this so that I can get control of my greatest wealth-building tool, my income?
That's right. And the reality is that I think there's a lot of people who are longtime listeners, viewers, new listeners and viewers who think that you can't change jobs, you can't get a promotion while in the baby steps. And that's just not true. And so I just want our listeners today to realize if you got anything that's work related that's you're really struggling with, we'll change your name, location. We'll be sensitive to that if it's a sticky situation. I'm here. I know there are issues out there, and I love to help people with clarity, whether it be I have no idea what I want to do with my life. Help me figure it out. I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. Or I know what I want to do. I know how to get there, but I feel like I can't do it because I'm in debt. And I want to take those myths or take those challenges and help you today. So let's go.
Let's do it. 888-825-5225. Be brave. Give us a call, and you can join the conversation. Jonathan kicks us off in Seattle, Washington. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Sure. What's happening?
So here's the situation. I'm 28 years old. I have a car note that I have $22K left on. I do have $30,000 in savings to pay it off right now. But the thing is, I'm also in graduate school, which is going to cost me exactly what the amount that I have in savings, which is going to be $30K. So my question here is, I've been contemplating going ahead and paying off my car, but that will leave me with just $8K. I would have to cash flow school for that. So So my question is, should I pay off the car, which I owe 22 on, and be left with $8K and cash flow the rest for college, or should I go ahead and keep making that minimum payment on the car and keep the $30K as a cushion to get me through school? And just a side note, I actually use the car to drive for Uber, which brings me around 36 to 40 a year. So there's that. So being in a situation, I'm just in a little bit of a dilemma what I should be doing with the savings that I have.
Well, the car is not the magic secret sauce to making money with Uber. It's you, right? It's you getting out there, turning the app on, and driving people around.
Yeah.
So
I actually don't drive people. I just drop their food off.
Oh, you're doing Uber Eats.
Yes.
Okay. Sweet. And you're making 36 to 40,000 a year?
Yep.
Wow.
I do like 7 days a week without a day off. Sometimes I do 4 days a week.
While you're in grad
averaging
school?
Around.
Wow.
How much do you have? How much is the grad school? What do you have left on that bill?
So I just started. It's an online program.
Okay.
And the total was like 35. I've already made the first 5,000 payment. So now the rest of the bill is going to be 30K around for the completion of the program.
How long is this going to take?
It's going to be for the next 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I think partially you can cash flow a lot of this grad school. I love that you already have it in savings, but you also have this car debt hanging around your neck here. What is the car worth?
The car's actually worth like 33, I believe, last time I checked, but now it could probably be like down to like 30.
What's your income for the year? Is it just Uber
30,
Eats?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm doing right now. I'm actually also looking for a side job, relating to my degree.
Okay.
But until I find that job, this is what I'm just doing to
I've got a question on the degree because it plays into where George is taking you on how we get out of this. What is the degree? What is the graduate program in, and can you pause it? Because it's still going to be there, presumably.
Well, the program this is a cybersecurity master's program. I can most certainly pause it, but I'm just going to have to reapply it whenever I'm ready, a few years down the line, whenever that is. I just started this program because I wanted to get my foot in the IT industry as fast as possible. Because I have an international political study undergrad, which is not related to IT.
Yeah.
And
well, you want to do cybersecurity?
Correct. Yes. I also have a few years of IT experience, aside from college. When I was in undergrad, I used to sell computers and whatnot. So that's what kind of got me interested in this program.
Okay. Georgia, you think it's a 2-year play to get where he needs to get, to where he can jump back in and cash flow? I don't think it's that long.
I've got a great life hack for you. I'm selling this car because, number one, you've got a car that's worth $33,000 and you make $36,000. That's a lot of your life tied up in a car.
Yeah.
And so you sell that car for $33,000, you owe $22,000. Well, guess what? That puts you at $11,000 in cash in the bank without touching your $30,000.
Yeah.
So now let's go buy an $11,000 car. We have the money set aside for the grad program. Bada bing, bada boom.
There he is.
We got the
Jersey
grad
George right there, folks.
He's back.
He comes. That character just emerges when he lays out great advice.
What do you think, Jonathan? Would you be willing to sell this car while the market's still hot?
Survey says.
That's
we were hoping
for.
A hard pass.
That was some bad radio, Jonathan.
The pause is a pass. Jonathan, are you willing to do what George just proposed?
Yeah, for sure. But this
what?
is also my daily drive. Other than just Uber Eats, this is what I do. But yeah, I see what you guys are saying.
Can an $11,000 car not be a daily driver that does Uber?
It can be. I see what you guys are saying. Yeah, I don't see a reason to justify the $30,000.
I got another option. Because Jonathan's struggling on this.
Okay.
Jonathan, I got another angle. I want you to contact Bethel Tech. The website is betheltech.net. I endorse them. Ramsey Solutions, they are one of our partners. They have a training program, an online training program that will get you into cybersecurity for $15,000.
That's quite the discount.
There's a big difference. I'd talk to them. That's what I would do.
I like that plan. And
hey,
on top of that, I'm still selling the car.
I'm still selling the car.
And be glad Dave's not here, because he'd just be like, sell the freaking car, Jonathan, you're broke.
Yeah, we just got you out of all this. We're going to get you out of the car debt, and we're going to get you into cybersecurity way faster. Talk to Bethel Tech.
And guess what? The people getting the food from Uber Eats, they don't care if you drive a $33,000 car or a $10,000 car. They just want
I
their
just want
food.
my pasta, man.
I don't know what accent was that, but it was offensive to all people groups, Ken.
Georgie George.
This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Hey guys, in case you missed it, yesterday we announced new spring live event dates for our Building Wealth live
Hey,
tour.
yo.
I know, I'm
We're
super
back.
pumped. It's sold out. It was so popular this fall that we're going to take it to some new cities in 2023.
Where are we going, George?
We are going to Indianapolis,
Ho!
February 16th.
Home
We're
of the
going to
Colts.
Austin, Texas,
Oh,
February
University of
23rd.
Texas. All right.
And then Anaheim, May 2nd.
Oh, Anaheim.
So we've
That's
got a little
always
bit of
fun.
everything.
Fun to get out to Southern California.
Yeah, Indy, Austin, Anaheim. So February 16th, February 23rd, May 2nd. People all across the country, they're wanting to know, Ken, is it still possible to build wealth in this inflationary times,
Yes.
in this economy?
It is.
You can do it. We're going to show you how. Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, Ken Coleman, and myself. We're going to walk you through a simple but proven plan to build wealth, invest, make smart decisions no matter what's going on with the economy. And here's the best part. Tickets are just $39, and they sell out fast because of that.
And I want to mention we have a little pre-show option, which is a robust Q&A with me and Dr. John Deloney. We talk about
powerful moments.
We talk about the tension between our work life and our relationship life, and it always turns out to be really great. So that's an additional offering, but we do that before the
and it's
the
free.
main event.
If you get tickets, just show up early, and you can enjoy that. And we do have VIP tickets, but we only have 200 of those, and they always sell out quick, and that includes a meet and greet with Dave. And so don't wait. Go get your seats for these events. RamseySolutions.com/events is the place to go. Hope to see you all across the country in 2023. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it is always fun to get out there. Can't wait to be in Dallas this weekend, by
That's
the
right.
way.
Just a few days away.
Just,
Dallas, Texas
on
Smart
Saturday,
Conference.
Dallas, Texas. It's going to be an unbelievable, I believe it's Frisco. Is that where the venue is? I believe it is.
I don't know. It's the Curtis Culwell Center.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about cities, Ken. I just go where they tell me to go.
It's going to be fun.
Well, not too late to join us for that either, an all-day Saturday event coming up. All right, open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your work life, your financial life, your whole life. Rick joins us up next in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Rick, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. I listen to your show all the time, and I also look at his daughter's YouTube.
Oh, yeah, Rachel Cruz Show. Well, thank you so
Yes.
much, Rick. How can we help today?
Been a fan for many years. My daughter recommended you a number of years ago, so you helped her too. Anyways, I'm 76 years old, and I'm $97,000 in debt. My income is $4,000.
Okay, where does the income come from?
Two from mine and my wife's Social Security, and her a retirement pension.
Okay, and that adds up to $4,000 a month?
Yeah, and she's been working part-time, and I've been trying to work part-time. So our total expenses are a little over $10,000 a month.
Total expenses?
What is that coming from? The debt interest?
Credit card. Yes.
Ooh.
So is the $97,000 all credit card debt?
Let's see, I had it down here. $97,000 is the debt, and I just had it down here. My battery ran off.
Oh,
my credit card debt is about a little under $50,000
of credit card debt. What's the other types of debt?
Let's see, I got my truck is $675.
What's the total loan on the truck?
$18,933.
Okay. Do you know what it's worth by chance?
Well, with the mileage on it, it's probably worth about that.
Okay.
I've got almost 300,000 miles on it.
All right. That still leaves us another, $29,000 or so in debt. What's the other debt? You got the truck, the credit cards. What else?
I got my wife's car.
Okay. What's left on that loan? Is it more than the truck?
$3,092.
Oh, okay. And there's still a whole bunch left there on top of that.
George, you got to walking through the debt snowball. We got to figure out these cars as well.
Yeah, Rick, number one, it's not going to be fun or easy, but these cars need to go. It's one of the only kind of reversible debts you have on this list because we can't sell the credit card debt back to the company, but we can sell these cars and potentially get out of a chunk of this.
My truck I use for work. Without the truck,
what are you doing for work?
No extra income. I haul recreational vehicles. I drive to Indiana, pick up an RV from the manufacturer, and take it to dealers all over the country.
But any truck can do that. It doesn't need to be a $20,000 truck, right?
Well, it has to be a big truck. I've got a Ford F-350 diesel. That's what they require.
I do understand that. I think the bigger issue is what's a better line of work for you, where we're not having to do that.
It's very difficult because I've got extreme health problems.
Mm-hmm.
I've had 2 different cancers. I've had heart bypass. I've had carotid bypass.
But hauling all this equipment across state lines, that feels like a heck of a lot of work for a guy in your shape then.
Well, no, I'm just driving. I can do that.
All right. Well,
and then my wife, she needs hers for work.
Well, I still think we need to sell these cars and get cheaper versions that we can pay cash for. That's the bottom line because there's not a lot of wiggle room here. We're not going to make, triple the income.
And let me ask a follow-up here. Rick, is the $4,000 a month income, that includes the Social Security plus you and your wife working part-time jobs?
No.
Okay, so it's more than $4,000.
Yeah.
What's
we've been scraping up to $10,000.
Okay.
So you're saying you have $10,000 monthly expenses. So you're making up the gap in $6,000 with your part-time work together?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's a little bit different picture.
Actually, I say it's not. Mine is really not part-time.
Yeah.
I go all the time.
Okay.
All right. The picture
has changed
for
a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So they're scraping $10,000 a month together.
So now the question is, how can we get?
We've got to reduce expenses. Yeah.
I mean, I want you guys to be able to retire, Rick. Isn't that the goal? To not have to do this anymore?
Yes, I'm going to be 77 in January, and just this past month, my wife came up with breast cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Gosh.
So now she's out of work.
But to me, that changes the whole picture, Rick. I go, what needs to be true for us to be able to retire, for us to take care of ourselves and deal with these health issues? And that means I'm sacrificing by getting rid of these cars that have debt on them. And if that means I get a real old truck that still gets the job done or even change my line of work, I'm going to be willing to do that because you're going to need to be home pretty soon to help take care of your wife. It's going to be hard to be on the road all the time.
Do you have anything, Rick, that you can sell? Do you have other assets that you can sell that we would have to change your life pretty dramatically?
Do you have anything in retirement accounts, savings accounts?
No. Actually, we're worse than broke. Our bank account is $980 in the hole.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
And the bank's been working with me. They're not charging me the NSF fees. So I do have a boat, but I've been trying to sell it. And
what's it worth?
Just probably about $10,000.
Okay.
I owe $3 on it.
I would definitely sell the boat, make it more attractive, drop the price a little bit to get rid of that debt, plus come up with a little extra cash. I would hope to sell the boat right now and pay off the boat and then pay off your wife's car. All right, that's a start. Now we got some momentum. How would that feel? I want you to just take yourself there. How would that feel if you did that with one sale?
I'd feel pretty good.
Well, that's a start. And as you keep doing that, you're going to free up more and more of these payments, which means that $10K can go a lot further and help you knock out other debts. But, Rick, this is an emergency situation. We've got to just sell anything that's not tied down, do as much work as we can, and you're 76. I mean, now's the time to start. The best time to plant the tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is today. And so let's get about the business of cleaning this mess up. Because for 76 years, we've been having a good time buying boats. But now it's time to go. We want to retire. We got to take care of our health, and we can't live like this anymore. So we're wishing you the best cleaning up this mess. Get the help from the kids that you need, since they're fans as well. Appreciate the call, man. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
I'm George Camel. He's Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. Give us a call at 888-825-5225. I can jump in and help with those money questions. Ken is an expert at helping you with your work problems, whether it's switching jobs, a toxic boss, moving states, you're trying to upgrade the income to, hit some money goals. Ken can help in that area for sure. 888-825-5225. Jackie is up in New York City. Jackie, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. How are you? What's going on?
Good. All right. So my question is, me and my husband, we had bought a house pre-COVID, and it was like a fixer-upper. So we had gotten it for around $270,000, and it's basically worth double right now. So we are kind of like, should we sell the house, pay off the debt, and then we'll be able to still buy another house because we'll still be up with what we make on it. So that's kind of like where we're at. I don't know.
Run the numbers for us.
How much debt do you have?
Okay, so we, including one car loan, we're about $39,000 in debt.
Okay.
The house that we bought, we got it for $270,000, and it's worth about like $470,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the numbers.
So keep playing it out. So you sell it for $470,000, you pay the house off.
Well, what do you owe on it?
So we owe, actually I have my mortgage thing right here. The total, I don't know. Oh, we owe $262,000.
Okay.
All right.
So you don't have much in this house when you bought it, and so you're going to get out of this thing probably $175 after fees.
Yeah, I
Net
actually started writing it down. Yeah. So basically, when I broke down the numbers just before, we'd get around like $140,000 after like paying off our debt, paying off all of the debt altogether, including the car.
The 39.
We would still be at like, yeah.
Well, that leaves
You'd be at 140, and you were saying you felt like you could get into another house with that. Is that right?
Yeah, like we figured either, we could put another deposit like on another house. Because even if we're up, even just say even $100,000 after paying off debt, the works, we could still take we could still put $50,000 to a new house, and then we would be debt free with just a new mortgage.
My worry is that mortgage is going to be huge. Mm-hmm. What's your income?
So my husband is an electrician, so he makes about $55,000 a year. And I'm like a seasonal restaurant worker, so I'm like around like 35.
So what would the cost of the new house be?
I think we would probably stay around 300,000, just like how we once were. Like we didn't really, but again, the market is up, so houses.
You think you're going to find a house for 300,000 in your area? That's as good as the one you have?
Not as good, but it would definitely have to be something that's like lower, and we'd have to fix it up. Like the area that where we live in, it has a lot of fixer-uppers.
I just think we're doing a lot of work here when you guys could pay off $39,000 making $90,000. Why not just attack the debt instead of do this shortcut and uproot your life and go to a worse house with lower quality of living, all to pay off the debt? I'd rather you sell the car before you sell the house.
Right, and it's all car debt, isn't it?
Well, it's $15,000 in credit cards and then $25,000 in the car loan.
Okay. Well, how much is the car worth right now? If you sold
I'm not really
it,
sure.
We got to find that out.
I honestly am not sure.
How much money do you have in the bank? Between savings, checking.
I believe we're probably about $40,000 in the bank with savings.
What are we doing here, Jackie?
All right, hold on.
Yeah, well, we don't know what we're doing, honestly. That's why we feel like we're in a good position right now. We also want to try to open up a business or something with even the equity on the house.
Slow your roll, Jackie. Let's slow down here. Here's what we're going to do. You have $40,000 in the bank. You owe $39,000. You pay it off completely today. That leaves you with $1,000. Scary, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? You now don't have any payments. So that next paycheck and the next one stays with you. Now we build a fully funded emergency fund while we don't owe anyone anything. And that's what we call baby step 3. That's the emergency fund. Baby step 2 in the Ramsey plan is paying off all consumer debt using the debt snowball. So you can fast forward through baby steps 1 and 2 and start working on 3 today. But part of the reason you're here going, I don't know why we're not feeling the progress. Should we sell our house when we're in this mess? We just need to do one thing at a time with focused intensity. Yeah. And right now, let's clean up the debt with the money we have in the bank. Let's get an emergency fund and let's reassess. If you want to move for another reason, that's fine. But do not move to pay off this debt.
And I want to jump in. George's advice is spot on, but I just want to drive in on an emotional point here. Well, do you know what your car payment is every month, roughly?
It's around $460 a month.
Okay, I want you to just process, instead of the fear of going from $40,000 in your savings account to $1,000. I want you to process that $400+ a month payment going away,
and your credit card bill,
and the credit card. What are you paying on your credit card?
Well, it's multiple credit cards, but
total.
The total is $15,000 in credit.
No. Your monthly payments to the credit card company is what?
3, 4, 5.
A few $100.
Probably about $700.
All right, now watch what just happened. In one fell swoop, you no longer have $1,100 a month due. How does that feel? I want you to chew on that one for a second. How does that feel?
Yeah, that does seem a little bit nicer.
There we go. So we got a narrative issue going on here. It's not, George, I'm going to deplete my savings.
You feel safe, but you're not.
You're actually going to free up $1,100+ a month and have no debt, and don't have to move you don't have to move. You have your house, you have your mortgage, but the point is you're free of consumer debt and you don't have to move.
what I know you're going to probably be like, no equity line of credit, but like as far as trying to take some type of value out of the house, you don't think we should do that?
Not in a
Even to
1,000 years.
consolidate?
I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy.
No, because you're in great shape with that house.
Jackie,
you guys can then begin to pay off that house.
You know it's going backwards.
Okay.
That's what it's doing. I want you guys to be debt-free, not in more debt, and keep pulling equity out of the house, because you know what happens? Then you're calling me at 65 years old going, hey, we have a mortgage, and we got credit cards, and we don't know how we got here, but we want to retire. We're sick of working, but we can't. Instead, I want you to call us and say, we are net worth millionaires. We have a paid-for house that's worth $500,000. We don't owe anyone anything. We have $1 million in our retirement because we had the margin to fund it with that extra $1,100. And now we're in a different place financially. We sleep better. We can move where we want to move. You see what that does to your life?
Yeah.
And so part of it is we got to stop justifying all the numbers in our head and what could be and what could happen. Instead go, what is our reality today? How do we make today better? And part of that is we don't need to live with payments anymore. And by the way, when you pay off these credit cards, would you cut them up? Would you be willing to do that for just a month? Cut them up, close the accounts, and see if you can survive a month using a debit card.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do that. You know, we do like the, you know, Home Depot and those cards, you know, like.
And what does it do for you?
Can I tell you how much I love home improvement stores? They make me happy. But I don't have a card with them. I just use my debit card.
But Ken, you can save 10% on that buzzsaw that you need for that one project today.
Let me tell you something. I didn't say I like to use, I don't even know how to use everything on those aisles. I just like being in there. It makes me very happy. You know, it's kind of a man thing. But, hey, I'm going to challenge you on something. I'm going to throw something in here, George. Because, Jackie, I think I'm trying to save you a little bit more money. George, tell me if I'm wrong. Let's say her car. Let's say she's got $5 or $10 grand of equity in that car. And you sell the car and you downgrade in car for a little bit. And that allows you to save more of that $40,000, right? Because we remove the debt on the car. And I got a big head start on my emergency fund.
That's true. If
I'm
you're
just
willing to
driving
downgrade.
a not as nice car, but who gives a crap? Park around the corner.
No one needs to see it. So, Jackie, you have a lot of options, but the one option I'm not going to say is okay
is the house.
Is to just sell the house to clear the debt. It's a bad shortcut, and I only recommend it if you're in a real terrible situation. You guys make good money. It's just time to put it to use and stop playing games with Home Depot and messing around with these credit card companies. And it's what got you into this mess, and I want you to have freedom. And part of that means we're saying no to the store credit card. Here, just say this next time. No, thank you. Have a nice day. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Ken Coleman this hour. Give us a call at 888-825-5225. Art joins us up next in Denver, Colorado. Art, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Sure. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So, after doing your baby steps, I'm on step 4, invest 15%, and I've been there for a few months. I don't plan on having children, and I don't have a home. I was curious what your thoughts are about living a digital nomad lifestyle. I work a remote job, and I do pretty well for myself. I have no debt, and I don't really know where to go from here. I want to become more mobile. I currently live on my uncle's property with a very cheap rent and could easily pay this and just leave my stuff here instead of have to get rid of everything. So what are the downsides of not buying real estate in the market right now and kind of living my childhood dream and waiting?
I don't hear any downsides, because
yeah, but that sounds too good to be true.
What's too good about it to be true?
Lots of people do it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Is your plan now? You
That's
got to
kinda
have a
why I'm
plan.
here.
Are you going to live in an RV, a camper? How are you going to travel? Where are you going to stay?
RV. I have like I said, I have no debt. I've got about $12,000 to throw at going to do the camper thing without touching my emergency fund.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant to pull the trigger because I've been trying to live frugally these past few years and get out of the hole that I dug in my 20s.
Right, but are you saying $12,000 is going to pay cash for something, or is that?
Ideally, or I have access to personal interest-free loans from.
We're not doing that.
No. We're not going to recommend that you.
Why'd you get out of debt in the first place if you're going to get back into it?
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, so if we take that off the table,
he really wants to go for it.
All right, we're on the same page now. So, how much do you make doing this remote job?
I make about $85,000 a year.
So, how long would it take for you to save up the actual full cost of said
Let's say it was
camper?
$40,000 for a good camper.
Yeah, I would say I could do it by late next year.
Well, there you go.
If I buttoned up and really.
I think you can do better than that. You said you have almost no expenses.
Correct.
So how long would it take to save up 30, make an 85 with very little expenses?
Not that long, but I'm scared of debt now that I've gotten out of it, and so I'm just wanting to take it slow.
Okay, but again,
we're not encouraging you to
We're
go
not
into debt.
encouraging debt. George is just saying how much quicker could you make the $30,000? Maybe if you.
What I'm saying is, how out of your paychecks could you take $2,000 or $3,000 and put it in a high yield savings account every single month?
Yes.
That puts you at another $30,000. Add it to the 12, and that gets you a $42,000 RV camper. And now we just travel, and you live that dream, and you continue to do it debt-free. You have a paycheck coming in from the remote job. You need to make sure you have internet access. And some people are doing, they have internet access from the camper at all times. You can look into those options as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the truth is, it sounds like there's some fear around jumping into this digital nomad lifestyle. Have you talked to someone who's done it?
No, I haven't. I've been taking Dave's advice and talking to the old rich people that I know, because that's who I want to be.
Well, also jump into those communities online and go, hey, I'm new to this. What are some things I need to look out for? Go jump onto some Facebook groups, some Reddit threads, and see what people are saying about this lifestyle, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, and then you can jump in knowing exactly what to expect.
Okay.
And guess what happens? 3 years from now, if you hate this and you go, you know what, I want to settle down, I want to sleep in the same bed every day, you can just stop and decide to do something different. It's not the rest of your life.
Don't take on more debt, even if it's interest-free. Just be patient.
Let me ask you a question. Does the dream include you driving the camper or dragging it behind you? Or is the dream, I want to go here for 3 days, and then if I feel like going somewhere else for 4 days? Is it a combo, or is the camper and the RV thing a big part of this dream?
It's really just going. I just don't like looking out the window and seeing the same thing every day.
Okay, I had a hunch that was the case. And so now that I know that, I wouldn't touch the camper with a 10-foot pole unless you were into that kind of thing, because that's a asset that is going to go down. It's going to depreciate very, very quickly. And to George's point, if you get out on this digital nomad thing and I just want to go, and then I've bought this thing that's depreciating, then that's a pain in the neck down the road if I change my mind. Versus you're debt free, you got a good amount of cash saved up, you can save up even more, and if you just decide I'm going to drive. I'm gonna buy a real gas friendly car, or if you've already got one, a very dependable car. I'm gonna drive here and then I'm gonna drive there. Or if you can afford to, I'm gonna fly here and then I'll fly there. If it's about moving around and you can do your work from anywhere, then this is you coming up with a budget and a plan to go, all right, since I don't have rent anymore and I know what my income is. And if I look at, okay, and George, you're the king of this. So like budget-friendly hotels. So if I find a chain and I become a frequent rewards person and I'm paying cash for the hotel rooms and I'm going, all right, I can pay this. And so I've got a budget of, and so I know what my hotel and my food cost. And if I'm flying versus driving, this is just putting all that together and going, okay, this is what it looks like. And if I can only do it 20 days a month based on those financial realities. I know I'm living with my uncle the other 10 days. But I would stay away from the camper and the RV knowing what I know now.
What do you think, Art?
Okay, I think that's more reasonable. I guess I'm really more afraid of not having all my stuff that I've always had.
What stuff?
So the extreme
What stuff?
Well, I mean, I've never not stayed in a house for more than like 10, 12 days at a time.
Then here's the idea. First of all, you already said you could store your stuff with Uncle. All right, that's one option. But the other option is, before we commit to this full time, why don't we just try this a week at a time for the next 3 months? What if we take the next 3 months and for 1 week we try this new lifestyle? And we just sit back and go, I always wondered what it was like. Now I'm going to test it without committing full time.
Yeah. How old are you, Art?
Okay. I'm 31.
Okay.
Yeah, I like testing this.
I just think you need to take the pressure off of yourself as if you step into this and this has to be your life for the next 40 years, regardless of what happens.
Okay. I think that's where my stress is coming from. Like, what if I don't like it once I get out there? So
that's
great
just
news.
Take off in the car first.
Yeah.
And then
that's
make sure that works.
Yeah. Try that whole hotel
and make
thing,
sure I can
food
do it
thing. Yeah.
Financially responsibly.
That's it. Try it on a mini level, right? We're going to mini commit to this thing. We're going to test it. And then the testing is going to clarify all of this for you, and you're going to go ding, 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 or eh.
And you might realize, you know what, this ain't for me.
That's right.
And that's okay. And you might just go, I need to travel at least once a month and have a trip to look forward to. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
But as long as you do it debt-free, there's no need to stress about the possibility of going into debt if you just say, oh, I'm just a guy who doesn't go into debt. I'm not going to do interest-free loans. I'm not going to owe anyone anything. I'm going to use my debit card. I'm going to pay cash for the RV. I'm going to have an emergency fund for all the expenses involved with this, and I know what to expect. So jump into those communities, ask those types of questions. They're always happy to talk about it and share their experiences, even share their numbers of here's what the actual cost is. I thought it was going to be basically living for free. Turns out it's $7,000 a month if you want to do it big. And so do your homework, do the research, but I don't see any issue with you jumping into this. It's that simple. Good stuff there.
That was fun.
Yeah. It's a new I've got a musician buddy who lives out of his van, and he really enjoys it. I've got another friend out in California who runs a digital agency out of a converted Airstream.
Yeah,
he loves it. He opens the door. He's on the sand on the beach.
Love that.
He's got internet wherever he goes.
I love that.
So it can be a great lifestyle for a lot of people.
It is. I do have a question for your friend who's a musician who lives in a van. Is it down by the river?
I don't think it is down by the river, but he is here in Nashville, so he could be by the old river downtown.
Yeah.
Playing at Broadway.
What river is that?
I don't know. Someone knows. It's not the Tennessee.
The Cumberland, guys.
The Cumberland.
All right.
Thanks, James.
Thank
Always
you,
coming in the
James.
clutch. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Appreciate all of you listening. My thanks to Ken Coleman, all the guys in the booth. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm George Camel, joined by Ken Coleman this hour. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your work life, your financial life, and your whole life. And by the way, if you like this show, which I assume you do because you're still listening, please consider subscribing, giving us a follow where you're listening, leaving a review, and sharing it with a friend. We want to impact as many people as possible with this show, and all of that helps us accomplish that.
George, I have the utmost respect for you. You're a friend and companion sitting next to me here in the office. But you just
it's a weird disclaimer.
The way you opened up the show there, that you kind of said, and we'll talk about your whole life. Now, we will talk about how bad whole life insurance policies are.
That is true.
But that is not what you were emphasizing.
No. I meant your whole
entire life.
Person.
Yeah, see, but we'll tell you. If you got a whole life policy, we'll destroy that.
There's
we'll
nothing
destroy
grinds
that.
my gears like those whole life salesmen can, I'll tell you.
Grinds your gears.
It's a real gear grinder.
Well, good for you. I've got some WD-40 over here underneath
Thank
the
you for
desk.
that.
If things get too grindy.
It wouldn't shock me. Ken, he runs on Tums and WD-40. It's all you need.
That's right. 2 of my unofficial sponsors.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's get to some calls before they take us off the air. Paul joins us up in Oklahoma City. Paul, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks. Good afternoon. My son is getting married in about a year and a half. My wife initially thought we'd pay for their honeymoon and such like that, but then some other folks suggested we do an investment for them. So with that said, the investment, any ideas what might work for a newlywed couple that they can, get later in life?
Okay, so you want to give them some sort of cash.
Yeah, probably about $2,000 or $3,000.
Okay, and why an investment for their retirement versus something that kickstarts their marriage today?
Good question. No answer.
He's just
all right.
Yeah, well, he's thinking. He's looking. He's thinking
I'm thinking
of
a
options.
newlywed couple is like, what I need is money today, not 30 years from now. So I think it's a lovely idea, and you can encourage them to use that money to, put it in a Roth IRA.
Yeah, they're both working in a small Tennessee town, making about $60,000. So they're in decent shape.
Are they? Will they have any debt?
My son bought a car, and that's about it.
Okay, so who's paying for the actual wedding?
Her mom and dad.
Completely. They're covering it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you want to cover the honeymoon, but now you're not so sure?
We thought about covering a honeymoon, but we thought about giving them a long-term investment that maybe, when they get 40, 50, they can have a little nest egg of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, they can save for their own retirement if they're young, right? How old are they?
25 and 23.
Okay. So they're plenty young. Are they aware of the Ramsey principles and the power of getting started early with investing and compound interest?
No, he knows that I went through Financial Peace University about 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. How much does he owe on his car?
$376 a month.
But what's the total loan?
$17,000.
Okay. And what's his income? You said there's 60 combined.
He's making about 32.
Yeah, that's a lot of car to be making 32.
I would encourage him to rethink the car, but I think, George, correct me if I'm wrong, your hesitation on putting $2,000 or $3,000 in a mutual fund.
Sure.
They're going to have to keep contributing to that.
I mean, you can let it sit for 30 years, but I'm like, the kid's got debt on his car. Let's help him today.
That's where I'm at. Or, money that they don't have to spend on their honeymoon is a very nice gesture so that they can, and I would really encourage your son to pay the car off quickly. Start paying it off now. As a matter of fact, I thought you said the wedding is a year and a half from now. Is that right?
Right. 5/4/24.
I would really encourage him to pay that car off and go into marriage debt free. And then I'd bless him with the honeymoon. That's what I would do.
Great, because I'm paying $100 towards the principal. Maybe I'll just add it up a little bit more and help him out.
To the principal of his car loan?
No. You need to tell him to put his big boy pants on. You shouldn't be paying his car payment. He's a grown man.
Yeah, he is.
Does he want to pay this thing off?
Real good money.
My worry is he's just comfortable because Dad's helping him pay the car payment, and he feels like life is pretty good. I want him to have a little fire under his butt to go, I want you to have this car paid off by the time you're married.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
I got great news.
Idea.
I'm going to pay for your honeymoon, but I'm not paying for your car anymore. I
like that. I like that leverage.
Because guess what happens when he gets married with $17,000 in car loan debt? Yeah. It becomes her debt too. And what does that do to their marriage? When they say, I do, oh, by the way, we now owe this debt that you didn't sign up for. And so I think getting started on the right foot with marriage is great. And one of the best ways to do that is for them to go through Financial Peace University.
Yeah.
Could you gift that to them with $1,000 check and say, hey,
absolutely,
let's do this thing. I just got you guys started.
Oh, I like that, George. We got all kinds of ideas, Paul.
So many.
I think today is the phone call, and we cut the umbilical cord. You shouldn't pay another nickel towards his car.
I think I'm old school, but I'm more of a teach a man to fish kind of guy. And so if you teach him how to invest, well, he's got another 35, 40 years to do that, to become a millionaire.
What do you know about fishing?
Well, it's a metaphor, Ken.
Yeah, Paul, he doesn't know anything about fishing, but you get the point.
You know, Ken's always out there with the he's got the reel and rod.
I don't know anything about fishing either, for the record. But, Paul, I think we got some good ideas here. You feel good?
You betcha, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.
Happy to help.
Okay, bye now.
Good stuff. Have a good one, man. That's interesting, Ken. It's an interesting conversation because a lot of parents do want to.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
That's a nice gesture, you know? And but boy, you shouldn't be paying your adult kids' car payments, folks.
That's a dangerous move. One that sets a precedent that this isn't really on me. If this doesn't work out, Dad can cover it.
It's not the kid's fault. I mean, what kid's going to say, no, Dad? I mean, you know, a few high-character people would, but it's like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You know?
But part of it is showing him, hey, you know what? If you saved, $300 a month, that's $3,600 a year. And 2 years from now, you could afford a $7,200 car. And when you work and save up that kind of money, Ken, you make your car purchase a whole lot differently.
I like that. I like how you got him started with the emergency fund. I thought that was a really good idea.
It's a fun thing to do, and I always like including it with, if you don't just gift Total Money Makeover or Financial Peace University, sneak the $100 bill in the Total Money Makeover, or say, hey, if you go through Financial Peace University, I'm going to give you $1,000 when you guys finish the lessons.
So you put it somewhere middle chapter 3 just to see. The
problem is, please do not send that book to Goodwill with $100 in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
As you
break
like
my
to
heart.
say, George, teach a man to fish.
There we go. I love saying it, and I love to fish. Take me fishing. Deloney will take us. Dr. John, he's a big fisherman.
Yeah. I got to catch it quickly or I'm out. I have ADHD. I need to catch the fish right away.
It's a young man's game.
Yeah.
Hey, more of your calls coming up. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, joined by Ken Coleman this hour. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, folks, you've heard the news. We are in a recession. The stock market is falling. Inflation's out of control. All right, calm down for a second. If you're investing, this is no time to panic. You've got to stay level-headed. Do not jump off the investing roller coaster because all of the gloom and doom you're hearing. A lot of people are messaging me saying, hey, I need to pull out of the stock market, pull out of my 401k. It's too scary. I keep seeing it go down. This is not the time to jump. History shows us that the economy recovers time and time again. It happened after the Great Depression, 9/11, and the Great Recession of 2008. So, here's the crazy news. This is actually a great time to invest because when the market's down, it's on sale. And who doesn't love a good deal? But you've got to be smart about this and have someone who can guide you through it. So if you need help finding an investing pro, check out our SmartVestor program. It's an easy way to find pros who truly serve with excellence. They'll be there to help you figure out what's best for you and keep you focused on your long-term goals and talk you off a ledge when you're thinking about pulling all the money out of your 401k. So if you want to get connected with up to 5 SmartVestor pros in your area, go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. You can talk with those pros, pick the one you want to work with, and then make an investing plan you feel confident about. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. Amber joins us up next in Springfield, Missouri. Amber, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah. My husband and I sold out of our old business, and we're getting ready to start a new business. Our building is pretty much up and ready to go, except for electrical and stuff. But we're hoping to be open in November sometime. Well, my main question is, it's just going to be me and my husband working, and it's an automotive repair shop. And we are going to be paying ourselves a weekly paycheck. Just because that's going to be our only source of income. And then whatever we have for the business, like we'll pay tithes out of our weekly income that we have. But my main question is, will the business need to pay tithes as well?
No. You would just do that off of what you take home.
Just what I take home. Okay.
Yes. So if you're doing that, you are in good shape. I have not found anything to back up a business tithing from the business. And so it would all come from the net profit that you take home into your home. What you file your tax return on, that is your income. And so that's what I would be tithing on.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Well, that was an easy answer.
I'm so glad. We needed an easy win today, Ken, didn't we?
Anytime we can get an easy win, it's good.
Yeah, congrats. Good luck with the new auto repair shop. We need some good-hearted people out there in auto repair who are honest mechanics, Ken. It can be scary.
It's true.
No one wants to get ripped off.
It's true.
So if we're in Springfield, go check out Amber's new shop in November. There you go.
There we go.
Greg is up next in Cincinnati. Greg, welcome to the show. Greg, are you with us, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you guys? Appreciate your show.
Sure.
Thank you.
So we are in our home for just over 1 year, and our septic system needs to be replaced. And so we're just kind of weighing different options in regards to which financial route to go, because the cost of septic we do not have in savings right now.
Okay. Do you know how much it's going to cost? Have you got some bids from different folks?
Yes. So we are. We've got 4 different bids. The one I think we're going to go with is $34,000.
3,400 or 1,000?
34,000.
That feels outrageous.
It's a large septic system on a farm property.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you know that the septic system was on its last leg when you moved in?
So we bought the property as is because of the potential that's in it. And we knew that it needed some replacing, but they thought they'd be able to fix it in regards to replacing the whole thing. And then once they opened it up, it did need fully replaced.
Okay. Well, what kind of financial shape are you guys in?
So the only debt that we have currently is our mortgage. All cars are paid off. And so our mortgage is currently $160,000.
Okay. How much do you have in the bank?
We currently have $6,000.
All right. And do you have anything you can sell?
No, we're kind of at a standstill. We're a single income family. I'm a school teacher, and then my wife stays home with our youngest. And like I said, we're kind of at a standstill. We paid all cars and stuff off before we moved, and then we do have a slight extra income with it being a farm property. We rent out more stalls.
Okay. What's that bring in?
An extra $350 a month, $350.
And what's your
and then in the spring,
income?
Yearly, it's $56,000.
Okay. So the question becomes, how are we able to cash flow this septic system? Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Now, how long would this process take? Have you talked to the companies and went, hey, this is a 6-month project? Is it something they do in a day? I have no idea.
So it would take approximately 2 weeks.
Okay.
To complete.
And is the septic system working now?
It's working. There's no backup into the home. However, with us having 6 people in the home, it fills up quicker than it should simply because of the leaks in it.
Who are the people?
Which is why myself, my wife, and then 4 children from ages 9 to 2.
Okay. So it's a party in that
So
house.
what is the septic system company that you're looking to go with? Are they requiring a deposit? Are they how are you going to do this? Before you called us, I mean, what are the options? I'm assuming they know that you don't have $35,000 or whatever it's going to cost up front.
Correct, and that's why I was calling. We've explored home equity loans and second mortgages, so that's why I was calling to see what you guys kind of suggest as far as moving forward. We're very driven in regards to getting it paid off, like we were with our cars. But
are they asking for it all up front or all upon completion? I mean, what are they offering?
Upon completion, yes.
So paid in full, that's the deal.
Right.
Which means if they started today, 2 weeks from now, you owe $34,000, which you don't have.
Correct. And we have talked to several companies because of the weather here in Ohio. Since it is still functioning there, if it gets to be too late in November, then they would recommend waiting to the spring. So we've explored, obviously, building up some extra savings.
Can you wait till the spring? I mean, how much of an emergency situation is this? Is it going to cause more damage?
No, simply because nothing's backing up into the home. It won't cause more damage. It's one of those things that has been aged and needs to be replaced.
If we can kick it to the spring, then I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded like this has to happen tomorrow.
No, it's something that as soon as possible, but it's not mandatory to be done.
And you're saying there's no risk of this thing backing up into the house and causing even more financial damage. That's what I'm concerned about.
No, the way they have it set up right now, it would not.
Good.
Then we've been in the home for a year and have had zero issues in regards to backups or anything
based
like
on that, if I were you and I knew that there was no way it was going to cause even more damage, I would put it off until you can cash flow it.
Yeah. So here's the math on this, Greg. You have 6 in the bank. It's cost 34. That puts you at a deficit of 28. Let's say you have 7 months. That means we have to save $4,000 a month to get there. Now you make 56. You get the extra 350. We need to up the income ASAP.
Yes.
We need to decrease all expenses for those 7 months, and we probably need to look around and sell everything. If that means selling the cars and downgrading a car for a season in order to get to that 34, then it's worth it, because you don't have a way out of this thing, and I would never recommend you jump into a HELOC or a second mortgage or any of these options. It's moving you backwards. It's going to put you guys in a bind, and you need to get this emergency fund loaded up ASAP. Because this is a dangerous situation. You get into a very expensive property with no money in the bank.
Yeah, and if your wife can do remote work from home, part-time, that's all going towards paying this off. Everything has to be on the table.
Wishing you the best, man. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Ken Coleman. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why they are the #1 online retailer of custom window covering. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Colin in Wisconsin. I'm 17 years old with a lawn care business. I'm making on average $800 a week and currently have about $22,000 saved. I enjoy working for myself and think that is what I want to do in the future. I'm wondering about any advice you have for me trying to grow my business and what should I be doing with my money. I don't want to just keep it in the bank. I want my money to be working for me, but I don't know the best way to do it. Well, George, I will pass this question over to you on what to be doing with the money. I'll jump in here on the growing of the business. So fundamentally, the way you grow your business is increasing the cost for your product or service, or adding new services or products, right? So you've got a landscaping company. And so you're doing very, very well. It's a lawn care business, but I would be looking at landscaping, right? So, could you add some services to if you've got residential clients or professional clients like a restaurant or something, depending on what he has. I'm looking at my existing client base and I'm going, okay, if I'm cutting lawns, what are the margins for mulching, weeding, other things like that? And if the margins are good and they already know you, and presumably they're going to be doing that anyway, then that's the idea of adding a service. And so that brings in additional revenue. But then you got to look at, all right, I'm taking good care of my clients, and what is my annual bump? I'm going to look at the competition, and I want to be priced fairly, but I don't ever want to be the bottom price. And so you're looking at those type of strategies. The other thing to be considering is if you're adding lawns, well, there's only so much you can do. You are the face of the business. So what is the cost of adding lawns? Meaning, let's say I add 10 more lawns a month, and I'm still charging the same amount. We're just making this up, but I'm charging $100 or whatever per lawn. If you add the lawns, then you have to go, okay, I can't do the cutting, and so who's going to cut? And so I'm now paying someone an hourly wage. So we take the income, and then we minus the expenses of what it's going to take to service this new income. And you start to begin to just walk through this slowly. You're 17, you're doing a great job. You don't want to grow too fast, but you just look at what does it cost me to expand? And we're looking at time and money, equipment, all of that, and go, okay, is that a good move to try to increase my income, thus grow the company? But that's where you're going to go. If you stay in this business long term, that's how it will go. So you always got to price in growth.
Absolutely. And have a vision for where you want this business to be. Do you want it to be the biggest in town? Do you want to have a team of 20 people? Or do you just like doing it yourself? And over time, you may get tired of that, so you may need to go hire 1 or 2 people. Now, Ken mentioned some great tips on growing the business. You can also look into some, lawn care is all about marketing. And it's all about word of mouth. I go to my neighbors, I go to my neighborhood Facebook group, and I go, hey, who cuts a great lawn for a decent price? Yep. Great. They show up, they do reliable work. You can do referral programs where you go, all right, I'm going to give you $25 if you refer a new client over to me. So there's a lot of things you can do in that arena, but you specifically asked, how do I make sure my money's working for me? Well, number one, it doesn't sound like you've gone into debt, which I love, and so I want you to continue to grow your business debt-free. I want you to continue to live your personal life debt-free, and you have $22,000 in the bank. That's a great emergency fund. Part of that may become your retained earnings for your business, so have a separate savings account for your business. Make it official if you haven't already with LLCs, and you can look into what options make sense for what kind of business you're running. And then you're going to know, I need to upgrade the equipment once every few years. I might need to get the zero-turn mower and hire a new person. Let me do all of that with cash in the next year.
I love those zero-turn mowers, George. I got to tell you, if I had a yard that justified one of those, I'd get one.
Totally.
You seen those dudes spin around
amazing.
On those things?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a lot of fun.
It's a great time. So on the business side, there's that. You can also, on the investing side, put your savings in high-yield savings account. You can invest in a Roth IRA with your earned income. You can look at SEP IRAs and solo 401ks. So those are for self-employed folks, which are a great option. And so start to look into all of that. But you're 17, man. You got your whole life ahead of you. So grow slow, like Ken said. Do it at the speed of cash. And I hope this thing takes off.
Yeah.
20 years from now, you have an amazing business.
I like his chances.
That's a smart 17-year-old. We need more of those. All right, we're going to the phones. Bentonville, Arkansas is where we head to next. Shane joins us there. Shane, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, guys.
What's going on?
I have a good segue into the next question here.
Oh, great.
I have a small construction business here in Bentonville, and I was wanting to see what should I be making, like what should I be profiting from my business?
Are you talking about your salary or from a just overall business standpoint?
Sure, and overall as well. Of course, it's my first year in business. I've known the business for a while, the first year on my own, and I'm scared to take a salary.
Oh, so you're not even
I'm doing everything cash. And
are you not pulling any salary right now?
No, not for the whole year. But I mean, I have a savings account and a tax account, if you will, so those might be considered salary at the end of the year. But,
okay. Well, how much profit have you made so far? Looking at what your gross revenue versus your net profit.
So we're right at around 40% if I don't calculate taxes. that's profit.
That's pretty good. Have you talked to others in the industry and done your homework to see, hey, generally this is the number you want to be at for construction? Because every business is different. Some have very little margins but high-priced products, and some have crazy margins.
Yeah, it's actually a niche market. It's construction, but I install tubing for pressure washer systems, so I don't.
That's about as niche as it gets.
Yeah,
love it. And it's working, man. So what is your top line revenue for so far?
So this year I'm looking at making right at 100.
Yeah.
That's what the 1099 will be. So
listen, you should be very happy with 40% profit. That is a tremendous margin right there. It really is. I mean, that's really good.
What's your overhead currently?
So my overhead, what it consists of, or what the price is?
What does it consist of?
So I just work out of my home, like I have a home office, if you will. But a lot of it's flights, rental car, because it's all over the country. And
are those expenses passed on to the client in addition to the work, or do you have to absorb that within your pricing?
That's what I absorb. That's what makes up that 50 to 60%.
Got it. And how much money? You probably already asked this. I was doing a little research while you were talking. But what did you clear last year? Actual net profit.
Well, this will be my first year business.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. What do you think your net profit's going to be at the end of the year?
Well, that's what I'm hoping at that 40%. Of course, I need to.
No. I get the percentage. What's the actual number? What do you think the number's going to be in the bank net profit?
Oh, that'd be 40,000.
Okay.
So you brought in 100 or so, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may be or so, yeah.
So you don't have a lot of. Do you have a bunch of equipment and other things like that? I mean, what are you having to service outside of just your time?
So again, a lot of that's just the travel cost, if you will.
So you don't have equipment costs and things like that?
No, I got like a bag of tools, so it 50 pounds of tools.
I love that. I think you should be paying yourself at the end of this year. I wouldn't keep living off the savings. I mean, you.
It sounds like your base is now 40,000, and we work on upping that every year.
That's right.
By increasing what we're charging and trying to decrease all of the costs, and maybe you end up hiring someone. Could you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I
down the road
from there and take a lot more jobs for sure. But.
Yeah, ease into that one. But I think in this first year, you're trying to figure out where can I cut on some of those expenses. But some of those are kind of fixed and related to I got to get there and do that and stay at the hotel and all that. But
I love it.
You got a really nice profit margin, and I would be thrilled with that in year one.
Yeah, Shane, hang on the line. We're going to send you a copy of Dave's book, Entree Leadership. It's his playbook for how he built this business from a card table in his living room to what it is today. Our scripture of the day comes from 1 Corinthians 8:2. Anyone who claims to know all the answers doesn't really know very much.
Ooh,
that is some timeless biblical wisdom.
Ouch.
From what I assume is the message. That was very hip. You could tweet that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dick Van Dyke once said, just knowing you don't have the answers is a recipe for humility, openness, acceptance, forgiveness, and an eagerness to learn. And those are all good things.
Wow, I don't know if I feel confident giving advice here.
We don't have all the answers, but what we do on the show is we try our best, Ken.
Yeah, so we don't have the answers,
but we can give you hope. We
can
give you some homework and some steps to take.
That's what we do.
I love it. Well, let's see if we can do that for our friend Christine. She's on the line in Philadelphia. Christine, how you doing?
Hi, guys. I'm doing good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So my husband and I are completely debt-free, and we are currently renting because we're a military and government family. So we really don't know where we'll live because we usually uproot every 3 to 4 years. We have $150,000 in our high-yield savings account right now, and we're wondering if we should keep that there just in the event that we might buy in the next couple of years, or if we should do something different with that.
Well, it sounds like you guys are doing it exactly how I would do it. So I love that you're renting with patience, going, hey, we don't know what the future is going to hold. We're uprooted every 3 years, and especially in military communities, the housing market can be a very different scene because of how much supply and demand is fluctuating.
Yeah,
so what does the
for
future
sure.
look like for you guys? Is it just continuing to move every 3 years for the foreseeable future?
Well, he gets new orders next year in the fall. However, even with those new orders, it'll be another, 3 years. But I just don't feel like that's long enough to buy a home and get settled and everything. I just feel like, 3 years goes by so fast. And he might be staying in for 20 years. His whole 20, he's 16 now, but he's not sure. So I guess until we know that or not, I just don't know what we should do with that.
I would continue to just stack on top of that. And if you can save up, what's the household income?
I'm 100 and he's 45, so 145.
Oh, incredible. So making 145, how much can you add to it every year? Could you add 50, 75K even?
Yeah, probably. We're pretty fortunate where I can get like a lot of overtime. Like when he goes and deploys, I just do nothing but overtime since we don't have children right now. So.
Wow.
That is awesome. You guys are incredible.
Yeah, I agree with George because depending on which direction you guys go, how long he's going to be in the service, I mean, you're stacking things up to where you're going to be in really great position to settle down. And right now, it's difficult. I've known a lot of military families. I grew up in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, heavy military, population, and so had a lot of. And that moving every 2 to 3 years is exhausting. And trying to sell a house, buy a house every 2 to 3 years is.
That's a lot. Yeah, so I think, Christine, it would be a cool goal to say, how cool would it be if we could pay cash for a home down the line? And that might be 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to happen. And if you do buy a home and you have enough money to buy cash, you could buy cash and then sell it 4 years down the line. And that home, history has shown us, will appreciate in value. And so the only thing you have to deal with is, fees and a headache. But again, in these military communities, I would work with a realtor to go, is this a good buy? Historically, am I going to lose money on this deal after fees by buying in this area and selling 3 years later?
Okay. And if we plan on renting, if he stays in the military for the 20 years and we just do nothing but rent, would it be wise to maybe buy a rental instead with that money and let that appreciate?
That's an option. If you can buy a rental with cash and you guys just want to continue renting because life's kind of in flux, that's a great option. Now, the problem is you're going to be a long-distance landlord, which I would not recommend. And so you buy a spot where you live, and then all of a sudden 3 years later you move. And I'd never recommend a long-term landlord situation. So I would do your homework on that one to see, is it worth doing it for 4 years while we're in this location to buy a rental property and rent it out?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate you guys' advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the call. And if you were going to invest that money long-term, you knew it was going to be a 5+ year play, I would contact one of our SmartVestor pros and look into, opening a brokerage account where you might be able to make 7, 8, 9, 10% on that money instead of the 2% in a high-yield savings account.
And I didn't mention this because I don't know the full situation, not talking to your husband, but one of the conversations I think is worth having over a date night is, what would make you stay in for the full 20 years? What would make you get out? Are you scared of it? I know a lot of men and women in the military. In fact, we've got a lot of these calls on the Ken Coleman Show over the years going, hey, I'm getting out in 2 or 3 years, and Ken, I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to do anything. And there's a real thing here. In fact, we did last year we did a full hour on Fox Business News.
That's right.
I went up to New York and sat with Charles Payne, and the name of the entire hour is a special called From Military to the Marketplace. And I'm just bringing this up because a lot of men and women in the military feel like it's my only option because that's all I've done so far. And I've got experience in the military, and I don't think it'll translate to the marketplace. And we had several military veterans on that show that day who, agreed with me, and they were basically saying, we've done it. You've been trained by one of the greatest organizations in the world. You are extremely relevant. I bring all this up, Christine and George, to say that you might be able to adapt your lifestyle tremendously if he goes, all right, next time I'm up for re-upping, if I think ahead and go, wait a second, what would I do? What could I do? What do I want to do? And if you want to stay in the service, awesome. Love our men and women in the military. Thank God for them every day.
Yes.
But that's something to think about, because now they're in a really good financial situation with what she makes and what they've saved. And then if he comes out and doubles his salary in the private sector, which is not unreasonable to believe, now it's a game changer, Christine. So I want to at least put that idea out there.
No, that's a great call out. And please thank him for his service, Christine. That's incredible. Patrick joins us up next in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me. My question is that I'm at $45,000 in college debt, and I will be going into my senior year in the spring semester. And I'm wondering if I should take out another $20,000 in debt and get my degree, or pay it off before going again.
Well, if the options are going further into debt and digging this hole even deeper versus what's the other option, pausing?
The other option would just be to pause and then find a job. I don't really have any skills to get a good job to pay it off fast.
What were you studying?
Psychology.
Why were you studying that?
I didn't really think too much when I jumped into it, but I suppose I'd be a counselor.
Okay. I can just tell you right now, I would press pause on the final year and the $20,000. You don't have it. Not only do you not have it, you shouldn't borrow it. And then the third option is, I'm not even sure you're going to use it. And now if we can get clear that we do need the degree, then we'd finish it. But this idea that, well, I'm 3 years in, or I'm so many years in.
It's sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, that's fancy language. You want to explain that one?
Sunk cost fallacy. Yeah, when you dig so much time and effort and money into something, you go, well, I'm too deep in it now, so I got to stay here. I got to continue down this path that I know is going nowhere. And so that's what we're talking about here. And I know you feel like you paid a stupid tax, and you go, man, that was a mistake. But don't continue this.
Yeah, Patrick, here's what I'm saying. You need to know that you know that you know that you know that you want to be a counselor. Thus, you do need the psychology degree, the undergrad. But then there's more schooling. If you don't know that and you just kind of jumped into it, it's okay. You're not a loser. You're not a flake. You do have skills. You can work in this job economy right now. It's a really attractive job economy. I would absolutely press pause, go work, but not just work to pay off the current debt. And then while you're doing that, you are getting ahead. You're not a loser. You're not falling behind. And let's get really, really clear on what you want to do. In fact, George, right now, we've got the Get Clear assessment on sale for only $10.
That's right.
At RamseySolutions.com. I want to give that to you. So hang on the line. We're going to give you the Get Clear assessment. It's a 20-minute assessment. And it's going to give you real clarity about where you actually do want to go with your professional life. So hang on.
Good stuff. Thank you, Ken. And thank you to all the folks in the booth, Austin and Ben and James and Andrew and Zach, for keeping the show afloat today. And you, America, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.